A 69-year-old man is accused of fatally stabbing a 33-year-old woman during a dispute. At 9:27 p.m. on the 27th of July 2025, authorities responded to reports of an assault at a residence in the 600 block of Petty Avenue in Mobile, Alabama. Upon arrival, they found 33-year-old Crystal Varden suffering from multiple stab wounds. She was immediately transported to a local hospital for treatment. Investigators revealed that Crystal and 69-year-old Kenneth Reeves engaged in a verbal altercation that escalated into a physical confrontation. Kenneth was arrested at the scene and booked into the Mobile County Jail. Last week, Crystal succumbed to her injuries. As a result, Kenneth now faces murder charges. He remains in custody on a $250,000 bond. A woman is behind bars accused of killing her toddler daughter. On the morning of Sunday, the 10th of August 2025, authorities arrested 34-year-old Terica Pearl after the body of the 21-month-old daughter Blessence Pearl was found in the back of a hearse at West Gadsden Funeral Home in Gadsden, Alabama the previous day. Court documents reveal Terica is accused of strangling Blessence with a thick rope string. Terica is charged with capital murder and is being held without bond at the Etowah County Jail. Dantes Robinson, the funeral home owner, reported that employees initially mistook the child's body for a doll while returning from another call. A groundskeeper found the body on Saturday morning while moving the hearse, which had been parked unlocked overnight by the manager, who confirmed no child was inside when it was left on Friday night. Dantes noted that although the hearse was not locked, he said there have never been issues with unauthorized access to vehicles at the facility. The investigation is ongoing, with authorities continuing to examine the circumstances surrounding Blessence's death. A New Mexico woman faces multiple charges after a drunk driving crash in Varden killed 2 children and seriously injured another. Police said that around 6:50 p.m. on Sunday the 10th of August 2025, 33-year-old Christina Arriaga slammed a blue sedan into a light pole before plowing through a yard in the 8100 block of New Mexico Highway 478. A 15-year-old and a 12-year-old died from their injuries. A third child was hospitalized. Christina is charged with 2 counts of vehicular homicide, abuse and DUI charges. She remains held in the Donna Ana County Detention Center with no bond. An Altoona, Pennsylvania woman who reportedly called herself a witch, an Egyptian goddess, has pleaded guilty to third-degree murder and other charges in connection with a fire on the 26th of February 2022 that killed a 75-year-old man. 45-year-old Heather Evans admitted to setting fire to a home in the 100 block of East 5th Avenue, resulting in the death of Mark Stewart and injuries to several firefighters. She also confessed to starting fires in a chicken coop and garage on the same property. On the 8th of August 2025, Heather pleaded guilty to arson, reckless endangerment and related charges. She faces 20 to 40 years in prison, followed by a period of supervised release. On the 11th of August 2025, the Lancaster County District Attorney's Office in Pennsylvania announced that 29-year-old Jose Antonio Pitre will stand trial in county court after waiving his preliminary hearing on the 29th of July. Jose faces charges of sexual assault, aggravated assault, strangulation, and simple assault for the 25th of June 2025 attack inside his Lancaster City home along the 600 block of St. Joseph Street. Prosecutors say Jose punched the victim in the face multiple times, choked her, dragged her by the neck across the floor, and sexually assaulted her in the basement. The woman also told investigators he forced her to drink rubbing alcohol. Jose remains held in the Lancaster County Jail on a $500,000 bond. A 23-year-old man is in custody for allegedly assaulting his 2-month-old daughter and her mother. At around 3:40 a.m. on the 7th of August 2025, Polk County deputies responded to a residence in the 600 block of Northeast Jacob Street in Grimes, Iowa, to assist the Johnston Grimes Fire Department with a 2-year-old girl who was found not breathing. The child was resuscitated at the scene and transported to a local hospital with serious injuries, including trauma to her brain, genital area, left arm and temple. The child's father, 23-year-old Dylan Brown was arrested later that day after he reportedly admitted to striking the baby all over the body more than 40 times. The mother of the child allegedly said she awoke to Dylan hitting the baby. When she tried to stop him, he hit her in the head and chased her out of the bedroom. He then tightly restrained her in a bear hug, impeding her breathing until she lost consciousness. Dylan is charged with endangerment, domestic abuse, assault impeding air-blood flow, and 2 counts of willful injury causing serious injury. His bond is set at $250,000 cash only. No contact orders have been granted to protect the mother and baby. A former substitute teacher from Decatur, Illinois, has pleaded guilty to predatory criminal sexual assault of an 11-year-old student. 32-year-old Ellie Bardfiled was arrested after the victim's mother reported the abuse to police. The assault occurred during an overnight stay at Ellie's home in Mount Zion on the 29th of March 2025. Investigators found evidence of explicit messages, photos, and financial transactions worth hundreds of dollars exchanged between Ellie and the victim over several months. Initially charged with grooming, Ellie admitted during a police interview to one instance of sexual contact with the minor, claiming the child initiated it. On the 7th of August 2025, she pleaded guilty to the assault charge. She faces up to 40 years in prison and must serve at least 85% of her sentence before being eligible for release. A 42-year-old man is behind bars for allegedly fatally shooting his 45-year-old ex-girlfriend. At around 10:45 a.m. on Saturday the 9th of August 2025, police rushed to an apartment building at 89 Astor Street in Newark, New Jersey, following reports of a disturbance. When officers arrived, they found 45-year-old Shaneequah Williams unresponsive with multiple gunshot wounds. Despite emergency crew efforts, she was pronounced dead at the scene. Witnesses reported hearing a woman's screams followed by gunshots before the suspect, identified as Shaneequah's ex-boyfriend, 42-year-old Kasim McDonald, fled the scene in a light-coloured vehicle. After a multi-county search, Kasim surrendered hours later at the Essex County Jail. He is charged with first-degree murder and 3 counts of second-degree weapons offences. Investigators believe the killing was an act of domestic violence, though a specific motive has not yet been released. The investigation into the matter continues. Her father and stepmother have been arrested after a girl was found dead in a hotel. On Saturday the 2nd of August 2025 at 5:37 p.m, police responded to a call at the La Quinta Inn on Riverside Drive in Bakersfield, California, reporting an unresponsive child in a bathtub. Officers forced entry into a bathroom after receiving no response and discovered the body of 8-year-old Genesis Ariah. The child had suffered severe trauma, including burns, blisters and injuries consistent with repeated beatings. Authorities allege that Genesis' father, 31-year-old Ray Marta Jr., and his stepmother, 27-year-old Graciela Bustamonte, caused the injuries. The pair allegedly poured scalding hot water on Genesis over 2 days, resulting in extensive burns across her body and face, and crushed her hand by placing her fingertips in the door frame and slamming it shut, causing her fingernails to separate from the nail beds. One officer described the child's injuries as including splitting skin, massive blisters and marks suggesting she had been whipped multiple times. Graciela told police that Genesis died the previous evening, claiming she witnessed Ray punching and suffocating the child. She described Ray as physically and verbally abusive, alleging he had beaten his children for years using objects like charging cords, wires and hangers, sometimes until their backs bled. She admitted to participating in the acts that led to Genesis' death, but said she did not call police because she feared going to jail. She also stated she would have intervened if the abuse had happened to her biological children. In contrast, Ray claimed Graciela was primarily responsible, alleging the hot water was her idea to make Genesis listen. He admitted to punching the child in the stomach, causing her to lose consciousness and die, but denied burning her or injuring her fingernails. He acknowledged prior abuse of his children, stating it happened out of madness because they weren't listening. Investigators revealed Ray had an active case with Child Protective Services, with school staff reporting his children's frequent absences and visible bruises. On the morning of Sunday, the 3rd of August, Ray and Graciela were arrested and charged with first-degree murder, willful cruelty to a child, aggravated mayhem and torture. They remain held at the Kern County Jail without bond and are scheduled to appear in court on the 14th of August for a preliminary hearing.